Hello and welcome to AA. I'm Adrian. Usually I'm joined by my co-star Andrew. Unfortunately he can't be with us for the next week or so, so you're stuck with just me. I know, I feel sorry for you too. Right, so let's just jump straight into the video. This is the Smackdown Live, which aired on the 18th of April 2017. We open up SmackDown with the Queen, Charlotte Flair, making her way to the ring. She does her usual, I'm fed up with waiting, why aren't I the champion? Where's my championship match? This is then followed up by Naomi coming down. Naomi says that she can have a championship match. Then and there, drops the belt and decks Charlotte in what is a surprisingly heel move for quite possibly the biggest face on SmackDown. Just trying to think right now. I think quite possibly Naomi is like the biggest face on SmackDown at this point. And quite a heel move, just dropping the belt and decking Charlotte. Couple of fists thrown, and then in comes a big old Shane O'Mac. Shane comes in, he can, and does his spiel. You can have the championship match when you've earned it, and he then sets up a match for Charlotte versus Naomi later on in the night, where if Charlotte wins, she'll become the #1 contender. And if you want to know if she won or not, then we'll get to that quite soon. Backstage, Shane O'Mac gets out and is then confronted by Natalya, Carmella and Tamina, all wanting to know how Charlotte's managed to jump the gun over all of them to get this chance at the #1 contendership. Just setting up a little backstage heat between the women. Nothing really came of that segment, other than every time Charlotte would walk past, they'd give disapproving looks. Just a bit of a throwaway segment, really. Then we'll get onto the 6-way. So what do they call that? They call that a 6-pack #1 contenders match for the WWE World Championship between Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, Jinder Mahal, Mojo Rawley, Luke Harper and Sami Zayn. Really good match. Started off as your classic 6-way brawl, and then they did what they normally do in this sort of situation. They cleared the ring and let a couple of people have it at a time. Really good match. Really fast paced. Well, how can it not be? When 2 people are taking a breather, there's 4 others to fill the gap. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Really good match. Really, really good match up until Jinder Mahal won. And 2 weeks ago, I called Jinder Mahal the biggest jobber on Raw. A week ago, I called Jinder Mahal the biggest jobber on Raw. And then just after, I got to announce that Jinder Mahal is now the biggest jobber on SmackDown. And now, Jinder Mahal is the #1 contender for the WWE World Championship. I'm still not entirely sure if somebody's playing a joke on me, because I don't get where that came from. It's a really great match, but trying to think of the decent bits that Jinder contributed to it, I kind of came up with nothing. So I don't quite know why he's got the number one contendership, but that's the way it came down. Yeah, then Randy came out to the ring just basically to say you might have the number one contendership, but you're not going to be getting my belt. And that was pretty much that. Then they decided to run a promo for the New Day, just basically saying, oh, coming soon to SmackDown Live, because they couldn't be bothered to get them actually on the show. Then they ran a promo for Shinsuke Nakamura, who also was not there in person. Then Then it was an AJ Styles interview, which was interrupted by Baron Corbin. Ended up with them announcing AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin later on in the night, and again, we'll get to that one when it actually gets to the point of the card. Right, let's jump into women's action now. Charlotte versus Naomi. I did not think much of this match. What it looked like to me was that a lot of the moves, I think it was, quite honestly, it was mostly on Naomi's part. A lot of the moves Naomi was getting ready for before the move happened, and you could see that, whereas when something's coming at you, you expect the whoa, so you don't get smacked in the face. You kind of don't want them to actually be stood there like that for like 5 seconds beforehand, which is, kind of what it felt like they were doing. It just looked like a sloppy match, and it wasn't a great match. Charlotte won the match, and she's now got her women's championship match set for next week on SmackDown. So tune into this channel next week, and we'll let you know whether or not she managed to win the belt. The next match was American Alpha, and I'd love to tell you who they were against, but I can't keep up. They were announced at the beginning of the match by the announcers as Primo and Epico. They were wearing the Shining Stars trunks, and at the end of the match, they were billed as the Clones. So you can figure out who they were. But I'm just going to call them the tag team formerly known as the Shining Stars. They seem to have basically abandoned the Shining Stars gimmick that they had on Raw, which, let's be perfectly frank, that cannot be a bad idea. That gimmick was painful, it really was. So it's nice to see them get rid of that. But the match itself was an okay match. Wasn't great. It was an okay match. Then the match ended with Epico pinning Jordan. I don't really have much more to say on that match. There weren't really any noticeable spots in it that I can think of. The Clones, Shining Stars, Primo and Epico, whatever you want to call them, they were the guys who won. Moving on, the next spot we had was Lana. Pretty much just the same style of video that they used on last week's SmackDown, just to show that basically she's coming in as, like a ballroom dancer kind of feel gimmick. So we'll have to see what that turns into. I mean, there's talk that it's basically a rehashing of the Emelina gimmick that they decided not to go with Emma on Raw. So yeah, we'll have to wait until she turns up and see what actually comes of that. Next up was the Ty Dillinger interview, which was basically just a way to get him to introduce a promo package about himself. Yeah, that's all that was, a bit of a throwaway video package. Next up was the Kevin Owens weekly Face of America Open Invitation Challenge. I was wondering what this was, and I now know. It's getting outside jobbers for squash matches. I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually remember the name of the person they got in, but he had no offensive moves. He got kicked a couple of times, then pop-up powerbomb, and the match was over. It was actually quite possibly shorter than the Finn Balor versus Kurt Hawkins match from Raw. Yeah, squash match. Yeah, kind of did what it was meant to. Made Owens look strong. Ish. I've got to be honest, squash matches. I think people kind of expect what's happening in a squash match now, to the point where it's kind of diluted a little bit. So like, people are going to go, oh yeah, squash match, he won. The only time people are going to be really shocked is if he loses. If he loses against an unnamed jobber, that would be a great way to bring somebody onto the main roster. Yeah, great way. Nobody would see it coming. But other than that, you kind of know what's happening when you see, the jobbers coming in, don't you? So yeah, the next match was AJ versus Baron Corbin. Mostly quick pace. There were a few slow points in the match, but mostly it was pretty decent pace. Some decent moves. Yeah, good match. Good match. I enjoyed watching that one. AJ won the match by count out after basically using a phenomenal forearm on Baron Corbin when he was standing by the guardrail, and knocked him into the audience, and then slid back into the ring to win the match. And that was that match. SmackDown overall match of the week, I would say, goes to the 6-pack. I really, really enjoyed that match. Yeah, that was a great match. And from there, it kind of went downhill. AJ Baron Corbin picked it up a little bit, but yeah, good show. Good show. Better than last week's, but then last week's was pretty much just an infomercial for the Superstar Shake-Up. So yeah, still a lot to see what happens. It'll be good to see how well they're going to move forward with the WWE Championship and the US title once they're out of limbo after Payback. So I'm imagining next week's probably going to be a fairly average show, and then hopefully they can start actually making the titles look like they mean something. And also, as it'll get better as they start to get more used to who they've actually now got on the roster. But, yeah, for now, it was an okay match. Sorry, it was an okay card. If you're gonna go back to watch just one match, watch the 6-pack match. Best match of the night, easily. Yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Adrian from WrestlingAA, and I hope that you'll join in next week for reviews of Raw and SmackDown.